Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Today, we're going to be talking about the SAC3 on the PlayStation 4. Now, the SAC3 has always been available on Advanced Warfare in the form of an Akimbo-only weapon. As you can see, it's fully automatic, it's Akimbo only, and it's the best in class fire rates. It's got pretty good damage, and if you've ever used it, it's very similar to using XMJs without kind of going down into lockdown mode. It's got slightly better accuracy and less recoil than the XMJ, but the range on the gun is terrible, and to be fair, without being able to aim down sights, you just can't use it properly. Now, luckily, I got one of the new SAC3 Non-Akimbo variants. These were added to the Xbox One in May the 19th, but 5 of new ones have been added now to the PlayStation 4 as well, catching up. The SAC3 Solitary, the SAC3 Isolated, the SAC3 Loner, the SAC3 Introvert, and the one that I have, SAC3 Royalty. The SAC3 Royalty is probably the best one. It's got the +3 damage, the -3 handling, with a red dot sight already equipped to it, which for some people you might not like that if you prefer using iron sights, but personally I quite like that. Now, -3 handling people might be a bit worried about, but actually using the gun in the firing range and, you know, in a gameplay myself, I actually didn't find any problems with it. Although it does have a lot of recoil if you just kind of go down on it, it's not too crazy, it's very controllable, and personally speaking, you know, if you're firing in burst, I didn't have any problems with it. And, you know, in intense situations when you're in a close quarters fight, even if you're not the first person to pull out the gun, you can still quite easily win the gunfight. Now, personally, with a game that has been dominated by for so long by a ASM-1 speakeasy and, you know, the bow, finally this gun I think can compete with it. You know, the M1 Iron's one of the new guns that was given to everyone. I actually really like. It's a good gun, but personally I don't really enjoy using it. Considering I like pistols, for me it's just not my favourite gun. But actually I really do like using the SAC3 Royalty. It feels good, and to be fair, I quite like the Royalty camo. Like, you can see, it looks good in my opinion. Some people don't really like the purple, but for me, I think it's good. The only thing I would say is, you know, you pay for these, you know, DLC camos, and then when you have something like this, which is Royalty, the custom camos really make no difference, because you don't really want to put that on there, because the whole point of having this gun is to have, you know, that camo. Now, as you can see, it's 4 headshots to get a kill, or about 5 to 6 body shots, depending on kind of how much you're spraying and how good your accuracy is. As you can see, just spraying, it still does a lot, and even though you might not always be getting that headshot, you can still kill them pretty quickly. It's got quite a quick fire rate, and, you know, if you've got a scavenger and extended mags, you know, you're not going to be running out of ammo very quickly. But the thing to remember is, with the high fire rate as well, it does start pulling up very quickly. But, you know, if you keep it down, like the HBR, you know, the HBR has vertical vertical recoil, but actually you can control it, and, you know, that is the exact same in this situation. Now, one thing I did enjoy doing in this was this bit here, just because it's the idea, if you've got a large group of enemies, you can quickly spray into them and, you know, get lots of hit markers and get lots of kills with it, because it does a lot of damage, and because of the fire rate, you know, as you saw at the start when I was shooting it towards the wall, you know, it's very pinpointed towards kind of that direction, which for me I think is just so good. Now, one thing I did use it in a gameplay, the first ever game, I actually did do really well with it. Now, it's not really a gun you're going to be hip firing with, but when I was using it, I did have a lot of fun with it, because actually it just feels quite good to use as a gun. Now, I actually was lucky enough to get 2 Ruthless medals in a game, which I know isn't good for most people, but for me was pretty good. I mean, I don't normally do that well, and, you know, I was really enjoying using this brand new gun. Now, I'm going to put a small clip of that gameplay in now, but if you want to check out the rest of it, the link will be in the description below. Now, as you can see from the gameplay, it's just very good at, you know, being able to quickly aim at people and just get those hit markers that you need, that are so crucial. And even, you know, here I'm lucky enough in the sense that I am the one firing first at the enemy, but as you can see, even when, you know, they're firing first, it just has that fast enough fire rate to really do some damage. Now, as a comparison, I thought we'd put in some SAC3 Akimbo only variant. This is crime and punishment variant, which doesn't have any increased damage or anything, but it does have slightly better accuracy and slightly better handling. Now, as you can see, close range, the SAC3s are still pretty good, and, you know, as long as you're not rapidly firing and you're firing in small bursts, it still is a really good gun to use. But at range, it is absolutely terrible. You know, I got a lucky headshot there, but quite honestly, it takes a while, and, you know, it's that idea you've got to slow bursts to get it through, but even then, you know, you're going to be using a lot of your ammo to actually get a kill, and it's not a good gun to use in that sense. But I'm hoping this just shows you kind of how important actually the fact they've decided to add these non-Akimbo versions into the game is. I would be interested to see whether they might add in an XMG non-Akimbo. I know the differences with the lockdown mode, that might not work as well, but it's actually a very interesting game mechanic that they've done. Quite honestly, I think the right move, personally. Now, we're going to quickly change back to the SAC3, just so you've got that side-by-side comparison straight away. For me, it's just the very fact that, you know, it's got good spread to it, faster fire rate, and I don't know why, but even though, you know, it technically is the same gun, it just feels so much different, and it's just the fact you can aim down sight with it. It's got that better damage, I suppose, you know, being the elite version, but even then, it's just at range, you can actually use it as a gun, and to me, it just means it can be competitive. Now, one of my friends uses the SAC3 the SAC3 Akimbo version and has got thousands of kills with it, and he really likes the gun, and for him he can use it, but me personally, I can't use those kind of guns. Now, these non-Akimbo variants are exclusively available in advanced supply drops. Now, you can either get it from the store, as I showed you, or you can get it from reaching ranks 20, 30, 40, 50, or you can get them from normal gameplay, but that is incredibly rare. Now, these advanced supply drops, you know, you're not going to get them that many, but it is worth it, and quite honestly, I really like it. So, thank you guys for watching. It's definitely worth trying out. The SAC3 Non-Akimbo is amazing. Please like and subscribe, and click on below if you want to see more gameplay with the SAC3. See you guys very soon.